This notorious film pirate got caught in one. Let's check it out.
Average American household now spends $219 a month on subscription services.
You know how much I pay on subscription services? Zero. Only subscription service I pay for is my Nintendo Switch Online, guys. We ain't got no money for our services.
I spend $6.
Massive internet piracy.
Piracy
Is everywhere. The downloading of
The piracy buzzword.
copyrighted material
It was a buzzword. Still kinda is.
now accounts for 24% of global internet traffic. Half of you watching this video watch pirated films. A third of you download illegal music. A third of all software is unlicensed. It's the reason
Linus cleaned that up, guys. He doesn't no longer. He bought like a worldwide license or something, guys. But yeah, in a bunch of videos, he used to have like that unregistered Windows.
Spotify exists, it's skyrocketing, and this is financial advice. In an era where there's 15 different subscriptions.
He said, "Man, okay, He said, this is financial advice. If you don't know what I'm talking about, guys, it's like common. It's commonly known to say that, so your video doesn't get demonetized on YouTube and stuff."
Subscription services just to watch a movie that may not be on any of them, people are turning back to illegal streaming and torrenting. As a kid, when I wanted to watch a movie that my grandmother didn't have in her infinite VHS collection, I booted up her Windows XP computer and logged on to FastPass TV. FastPass was the soap today of the late 2000s.
But yeah, I used to also do something very similar. I used to always watch, around high school, I watched like a bunch of like Disney movies and stuff. And yeah, there was a website where you could just get the movie, but guys, I don't think it's like this anymore.
It was popular.
Now you have to like get a torrent if you want to illegally pirate. And this is not financial advice, though, guys. Don't do it. Buy the game. Buy the game.
They're shitty and had everything I could have
buy the movie, rather.
wanted. I didn't know this at the time, but both of these sites and many other illegal streaming services got almost all of their films from one man. A man that's helped release over 4,000 films, some before their official release, got caught because of Twitter and never spent a minute in a jail cell.
Damn, bro. Definition of a smooth criminal.
This is the story of...
Don't even know who this guy is either. What?
Piracy was to the early 2000s what drug experimentation was to the 60s. Napster had taken the world by storm, got shut down, and came back as a paid service nobody wanted to use. DVD piracy was increasing.
One of the first instances of paid services, guys.
With the decline of VHS tapes, and Bram Cohen, a programmer from New York, had just invented the BitTorrent protocol. Torrents were a game changer. Unlike the peer-to-peer model that got Napster shut
He attached protocol to it. I thought he was just gonna announce BitTorrent. No, he said BitTorrent protocol.
down, BitTorrent allowed users to download files without the need for a centralized server, and would allow you to download from multiple users at once. Napster actually had a trolling problem, where users that were hosting files could stop the transfer at 99% and fuck up your day. But that wasn't possible with BitTorrent. Piracy websites also learned from the mistakes.
Whoever did that, that is a cursed thing to do, bro. Whoever thought of that, man? That's super mean.
Of Napster, and while they do index and provide a central database for torrents, they don't actually host any of
I'm sure companies want to do something malicious like that to each other, but they, you know, the law and stuff.
the copyrighted materials themselves. Instead, they host the torrent files or magnet links, which allows users to connect to a tracker. A tracker assists in helping you find other peers to connect to, but it doesn't actually work as a middleman. You're not relaying files through the tracker, just getting a list of IPs to connect to that have the file you're looking for. I know, peer-to-peer, magnet links, trackers, what the fuck am I talking about?
The real question is this: was all this legal?
Think of Napster as your local dealer, and the Pirate Bay as the guy who knows a guy. Napster mainly focused on MP3 files, but with the expanded connections of torrenting, you could download much larger files at a much faster speed, which is why it became the preferred way for pirates to share films.
And it's still kind of the way it works, guys, but I never pirated my films. I'll just always find them on that one website that is now defunct.
process of pirating a film in high quality is much more complicated than you might think. It's not as simple as screen recording your Netflix tab or moving a MP4 file from a Blu-ray disc. There's many exploits involved to crack DRM software, and the individuals that develop and help
I totally thought that's how it worked, guys.
crack these protections were often members of the Scene, a network of pirating groups. They were the reason you had access to all of these films, but they didn't actually support public sharing. It was looked down upon. They believed that the quality of the releases would be compromised if they were shared publicly. Eventually though, through leakers and leeches, their releases would trickle down into public trackers, and this is where
And there's a whole community for this, guys.
pirates like Yify found his success. You see, Yify didn't actually source any films. He didn't crack any software
Bro named himself Yify. Yeah.
or work with any suppliers directly. He just got scene releases from direct download sites like Mega Upload or public trackers and would compress them. By transcoding, he would take the video file that averaged anywhere from 9 to 13 gigabytes and turn that into a 500 megabyte to 2 gigabyte file. With a decrease in file size comes a decrease in quality. While still technically being 1080p, Yify's files were kind of shitty. But this was 2010. Most people
Sheesh.
were just getting 1080p monitors. Nobody had a 4K TV yet.
I didn't get my I didn't get no 1080 monitor until ever, bro. Actually had my X buy me the one I'm using now. But yeah, we gotta upgrade that one day. What is this from though?
A significant amount of viewers were just streaming videos to their phones and streaming websites that had to actually host the files, and users in countries like India that still had data caps were looking for the smallest file size possible. So Yify became the go-to source for watchable 1080p.
Hey, you should contact Nintendo because they love to compress their file sizes down. And in fact, it seems like they specialize it.
films. Yify began uploading to torrent sites, such as the Pirate Bay 1337 and Kick-Ass Torrents, and from there, users or owners of streaming sites could easily access his content. In 2011, Yify
Apparently, the Pirate Bay is not something to get torrents off nowadays, guys. Go on Reddit. They're always vilifying it. So, guys, I think 1337 is the one that everybody goes to now. But I don't really torrent, so.
launched his own site, which became the easiest place to get new films. He also began taking requests on everything from new indie releases to 1940s westerns. By 2012, Yify wasn't just Yify anymore. He had over half a dozen volunteers.
Westerns aren't even a thing nowadays, guys. It used to be a whole genre of music, of movie, but no.
That would help contribute to his site, uploading around 3 new films every day. Around this time, one of the main sources they would use, Mega Upload, was taken offline. The founder, Kim.com, was raided by New Zealand's anti-terror unit, an unprecedented event that led to a 6-figure payout for Kim and horrible press for the New
That's what made him a worldwide name, guys.
Zealand police. By 2013,
but yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yify Torrents was getting over 21 million visits every month, and Yify was the most popular search term on Kick-Ass Torrents.
I never even heard of this website, though.
In November, the MPAA obtained a high court order in the UK to have their most popular ISPs block Yify's website. The
Sheesh. Uh-oh.
ISPs only managed to block Yify for a few hours. They had blacklisted IPs associated with the domain name, but not the domain
Wow, that only worked for a few hours.
name directly. Yify just needed to change the IPs of his site until the ISPs noticed, but this would only be
The whole process of pirating so annoying. And like an insufferable thing to do, bro.
a temporary solution. So Yify decided to implement Cloudflare onto his site for his UK visitors. With Cloudflare, a site's IP is hidden, and you just connect to Cloudflare's IP instead. It's a system mostly used to counteract DDoS attacks. So if the ISPs wanted to block Yify's website, they would have to blacklist
Cloudflare, guys.
Cloudflare's IP, which would be a huge problem. If they decided to do that, every one of these 7 million websites using Cloudflare would also be blocked, which is actually what happened to some Sky Broadband customers for a couple hours. Yify also started rolling out different domain names, so if one goes down, the others are still available. He had essentially beat the MPAA for a while, but in January,
Yeah, that's what the video I used to watch that had or the website I used to watch that had movies did, guys.
January, Yify announced that he
But it only can work for so long.
was retiring. In an effort to focus on his life outside of his pirate endeavors, he would be handing over control of his site to his trusted team, who would continue delivering films to the now rebranded YTS, or Yify Torrent Solutions. YTS would also go on to be instrumental in the continued development of Popcorn Time, a streaming
Are they going corporate with it?
app, much like Netflix or HBO Max, but it was open source, free to use, and would stream Yify's torrents exclusively. Using a handful of different APIs, Popcorn Time managed to make a streaming app without hosting any files. It was actually pretty impressive, and although Yify had stepped away from the project, the MPAA was still targeting him, and they knew exactly who he was. In an effort to promote the
Dang, bro. So this website won't be there no more. It's not there no more, is it?
site and interact with fans directly. Yify had started a Twitter account for Yify Torrents in 2013, and one of the few accounts it was following was a New Zealand web developer and world record-setting archery champion named Yify Story. This is a masterclass in bad security. Yif had started Yify when he was just a freshman studying computer science at the
Archery champion, guys. Okay.
University of Waikato, and Yify Torrents was anything but a secret. According to him, he told his friends and family about his hobby, and after the site was launched, according to some of his colleagues at Waikato, he even gave away printed t-shirts bearing the Yify Torrents logo. Although he was single-handedly committing massive amounts of copyright infringement, he just thought it was a fun thing to do, and quote, never really saw this as a criminal thing. Well, the US government did. The MPAA had tried to get New Zealand's police involved, but because of the horrible reaction to their military-style raid on Kim.com's mansion a few years ago, they didn't want to touch the investigation at all. He was just a
He might have moved there just so the New Zealand doesn't mess up again, guys. He's like, okay, they probably won't raid me over here. Who knows?
non-violent copyright criminal. There was no real reason to do a raid like that. In fact, they didn't even investigate criminal charges against Yif at all. The MPAA could only file a civil suit against him, but they didn't know where he was. They had his full name and phone number, but they couldn't verify his address. That is, until they got contacted by a Kiwi YouTuber named Carl Rock. Carl would go on to tell them information
Did he say Kiwi?
about Yify that they already knew, but they enlisted Rock, who was living in Auckland, the same city as Yify at the time, to help find out exactly where Yif was staying. Rock decided that the best course of action
They can't find he seems to be a and also master eluder as well as a archery champion, guys.
was to call Yify and pretend to be a courier that had a package for him that he couldn't deliver because the address had been smudged off. Being the social engineering, security conscious genius that Yify was, it worked. On October 20th, 2015,
You never thought, bro. You never thought the feds would go after him.
after uploading a copy of the Pixar film Inside
Oh, what is that? Pixels. That looks kind of cool. Pac-Man?
Out, the team at YTS was ordered to shut down both YTS and Popcorn Time. After news broke out that Yify had been served with a lawsuit at his home and almost immediately settled out of court for an undisclosed amount, the local New Zealand media was in a frenzy. Dozens of copycat websites started popping up, some of which still run and operate today, and the once supporter of Popcorn Time,
They do?
Kim.com, called the MPAA civil suit against Yify hypocritical, a double standard, and took note that the New Zealand government
Kim.com's like one of the founding fathers of piracy, and so is this guy, it seems.
had then spent over $20 million fighting Kim in the court, but didn't even begin to investigate Yif for criminal charges. While the takedown of YTS was a big hit to the online film piracy scene temporarily, members of the community even then were calling the takedown odd. Usually when members of the mafia take down a site, they use it as a big PR stunt to scare other would-be pirates, but that didn't happen. There was no FBI banner on the domain or MPAA press conference. They didn't even publicly out Yif. Nobody knew who was behind the site until Yif himself came out and openly talked about it. The details behind his settlement with the MPAA are unknown, and he's under an NDA. But given his
Oh man, it's always, bro. It's always the NDAs.
openness to address questions almost immediately after, and the MPAA's quieted response to taking down one of the most notorious film pirates ever, many have put forth that maybe he didn't have to settle at all, just provide information on his sources. But given that we know his sources, and the fact that he said he never interacted with any of them personally, just leached off them, the entire situation just seems strange. But one thing's for sure.
Yeah, this guy seems sketch.
While the MPAA may have put an end to Yify's site, they did very little to the piracy scene overall. The only real winners here are the YTS copycat sites and Yif himself. I mean, he has a hell of a story to tell. He effectively beat the system, and we don't know how. But what we do know is subscription services
They did not bother going after
are
him.
too fucking overpriced. Are you tired of spending $219 a month to watch a movie and get your caramel macchiato delivered to your doorstep? Well, here at Tide Torrent Solutions, we have the solution. We provide the most high-quality, affordable, all-in-one subscription service for the low price of $199 a month. We will personally hand-deliver any film you want to the nearest screen possible in the highest quality possible.
What the heck?
That's only if you don't already find what you're looking for in our
Okay, this guy's getting creative.
already extensive catalog. Netflix's entire catalog, we got that. HBO Max's entire catalog, we got that too. Disney, Prime Video, Hulu, Shudder, Tubi, Peacock, we have everything. Did I mention music? We have every fucking album ever released. And we're exclusive partners with a premium DoorDash refund scam Discord service, so you can have all your food for only $3. Yeah, it's just a tip. And if you're not happy with your service, then what are you waiting for? Email fuckmeover at tidefrom99.com to get your...
Okay. Like, comment, subscribe, check out Ty for 99. Press the join button. Oh, the Yify guy commented, guys. I think this is him. Maybe it's not. Subscribe from Car Rock for being a narc. The YouTuber snitch on him, guys. You be an international hero? Alright, guys, that's a video.